righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a treasure hid in the field, which when man hath found, he hideth, and for joy thereof goeth and selleth all that he hath, and buyeth that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a pure merchantman seeking goodly pearls, who, when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea, and gathered of every kind, which when it was full, they drew to shore, and sat down, and gathered the good into vessels, but cast the bad away.
When we analyze the scriptures and think of it spiritually, we can see the bigger picture and the greatness of the kingdom, how it's going to be, but we still just have a little inkling. We really don't have the fullness. Remember, Yahweh Shah said, it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom of heaven. So what do you think is going to come with the kingdom of heaven? Many benefits. So we have no clue or idea what the kingdom of heaven is going to be like. Specifically, we just have ideas. Some brothers have a better imagination than others. They may be able to draw certain things based off of what we read in scriptures, but to actually grasp the actual glory of it, it would be like the Apostle Paul trying to explain the spiritual realm, where he said it wasn't law for me, and there were not enough words to express the magnificence and the beauty of the spirit world. You see? So we can only speak on carnal things and imagination that we may have of how the kingdom is going to be, but the greatness of it, the glory of it, we don't know yet until it actually comes.
But as it is written, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit.
Bonehead.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kakodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elder GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessed salutations to hopeful leg out there pushing his word and truth and this sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful leg, the believers and listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. And what we're going to get into today, pretty much, all right, in the news, dealing with, all right, dealing with deception, that we're seeing happening. There's always a lot going on, and sometimes it's not, in the mainstream, because at the end of the day, what we understand with this devil, the scriptures say he's the most subtle beast of the field. Okay, the field being the earth, and the beast is speaking of these heathens. So this man, has great subtlety within his deception. And what's happening, okay, is he's been exposed, and now, all right, we're seeing this man pretty much in scramble mode, and he has, all right, to do something different to get to the next level, because as we can see, he has gotten all that he gonna get, pretty much out of this whole narrative of the thing, okay, the lockdowns, the mandates and restrictions. Because when you look at it, the only people that's really paying attention to those restrictions is even old people. Everybody else is pretty much nonchalant with this whole thing and this whole scare that he came out with the lockdown. So now it will make sense for this man to go to another narrative and turn it up a notch, man. Okay, add a little more fear in the game, because his main source of control is confusion and fear. Okay, now people are still confused. Okay, but there's no fear like it was when this thing first started. All right, that fear factor, is dwindling. So expect for this man to do something, on a whole nother magnitude to get that fear, back within the masses. Okay. Now, if a brother could post Isaiah 32 and Isaiah 32 verse 6 and 7. And I got a few videos, a few articles, I want to go into. Like I said, I'm gonna start doing it in the news, on this channel. It got, this one ain't had no strikes for now. The strikes that I did have on this channel, should be off, so I can risk a strike or two on this channel and kind of push the envelope, So I'll just be doing in the news over here on this channel, we'll kind of, push the envelope a little bit. All right. So yeah, let me cue this up while the brother, get those precepts. But yeah, we're gonna go in, man. There's a few things going on. We're gonna touch on Esau's propaganda, and because his media pretty much telegraphs, what he wants to do. Okay.
RT America. On our playlist today, the Friday lunch menu in New York City Public Schools will be.
Okay. All right, so let's get this. This is the brother from the brother Awalum War. All right, 144K. This is Isaiah 32 and 6. It said, "For the vile person will speak villainly," okay, villainy. Because when you think of the Most High script, who is the villain? Esau, Edom. Okay, and the villain of any movie is always plotting and scheming, against righteousness, man. Okay, and his heart, which is his mind, will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy. You see that? So this man is bringing forth iniquity, which is sin, unrighteousness, and we're seeing it through hypocrisy, man. The same person that will liberate a kindergartner, to change their sex, but tell adults they have to get a shot. You see this? What type of hypocrisy is this? He tells a first grader, kindergarten, that they have the mental capacity to change, their gender, but then as adults, we can't choose, all right, when it comes to our health, man. This man is a damn hypocrite. And it says, and to utter error against the Lord Yahweh, because this is an anti-Messiah society, man. When you look at the status quo, the what this society deems as right, is anti-Messiah behavior, man. Now they do it in a subtle way. They make light of it. They make jokes about it. Even these wicked pagan holidays, man, this is an abomination, man. Yahweh Shema Shai hates this current society, man. Okay? But Esau has bred within this society a mind frame of anti-Messiah. Okay? Just like during the time of Nimrod. He was leading a rebellion, okay, against Yahweh Shema Shai. Except this time it's just more technological, man, and it's the Edomites, instead of those Hamites and Cushites, man. Okay, if a brother can put that for me too, Isaiah 73:20. Okay, and it says, "For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy and to utter error against the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, to make empty the soul of the hungry." It says, and he will cause, okay, the drink of the thirsty to fail. The drink of the thirsty to fail. You see? And this man is thirsty for this NWO, man, his New World Order agenda. All right? His satanic world order. He's thirsty to do this, man. When someone's thirsty, what do? They get desperate. Okay? He tried to be nice with you with the the jump shot, the pandemic. But now you can see this man's finna get ready to turn it up a notch, man. Now, this is Isaiah 32:7. It says, the instruments also of the churl are evil. He devises wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy, all right, speaking right. Okay? So even though, beginning with the men of the Lord, this man's society, his subjects within his kingdom are speaking right things against him, man. Because even people that are not even in the truth, even other heathens, are speaking, are making points, valid points against this man's system, man, and against his hypocrisy, man. Okay, it's not making sense, and this man don't give a damn. Okay, he finna wild out anyway, man. Okay, now this is from the brother Good Soldier. Okay, Psalm 73:20. It says, as a dreamer when one awaketh, so, O Lord, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise, okay, their image. Okay, O Lord, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise their image, man. And it's the image of this society. Everything that this society stands for, Yahweh Shema Shai hates this place, man. And Esau Edom is the one responsible for molding this society to be anti-Messiah. And Yahweh Shema Shai he despises this place, man. You see? But let's get into what this man has going on. Like I say, we'll see if they let this go, without getting a strike. All right, I'm gonna try their ass. It is what it is. Why I went live. So, hey, those that were meant to get it, they're gonna get it. I tried to put up some posts earlier, but it wouldn't even let me create a post, earlier. But it is what it is. So let's get it. Now they're gonna deal with that situation, dealing with what's going on in Ottawa, which this is nothing but a psyops, and even in this, Esau Edom has his hands in the mix, to push propaganda, and an agenda. Okay, if a brother could put that definition in the comment board for propaganda, Baba Shah.
Be vegan from now on. The mandate, though, is off to a rocky start in the nation's largest school system. We'll tell you why on Newsview's Hughes. Plus, Big Pharma is making big money on Americans as the cost for hundreds of prescription drugs has gone up nearly 7%. But what's driving this surge? We find out on World According to Jesse. Inflation is at its highest level seen in 4 decades, while consumer debt in the U.S. hit nearly $16 trillion in 2021. Why are we seeing such a big jump in personal debt, and should we be concerned? From the experts on Boom Bust. Let's get started.
We are first to bring you this story tonight.
The city of Ottawa in Ontario, Canada, and the country's capital declared a state of emergency this week as a convoy of truckers and supporters have descended upon the city as a part of the so-called Freedom Convoy in an effort to protest Canada's COVID-19 mandates. And while officials are struggling to deal with the demonstrations, a new poll from Abacus Data, a market research firm in the Canadian capital, says 68% of respondents said they had very little in common with those who were protesting. On In Question, Manila Chan spoke to a Freedom Convoy supporter and Ottawa resident, Kayla Andrandi, about the situation on the ground.
Now, the mayor of Ottawa has declared a state of emergency. Just last night, more than 100 tickets were issued to those in attendance, many of those basically for public nuisance, for honking their horns excessively or wrong way driving, things of that nature. That is to be expected, I would say, from any kind of protest. But what of the allegations of this movement being hijacked by race-bearing Nazi flags or even Confederate flags and causing mischief around town?
And again, you go on the concept of what our government has implied in the beginning of this convoy, that it was violent and that it was racist, and when it was not. This shows that our supporters that are in Ottawa are showing how peaceful it is, and that Jim Watson, the mayor of Ottawa, has stated that it was disturbing to see a carnival-like setting. So to say that there's a state of emergency because of violence, this is just a bully tactic that our elected officials at a municipal level are doing. And if they knew that they were actually voted in by the people of Ottawa to stand up for their rights, freedoms as well. And I would encourage every elected official from all municipalities to voice their constituents' concerns at the federal and provincial level to end these mandates for all Canadians across Canada.
Yeah, as you can see, we have a reporter on the ground, and the video that he has returned to us doesn't look very violent. There are whole families out there. So it's kind of, it isn't very congruent with what the mayor is saying. Now, truckers as a community, they actually mirror the Canadian vax average across the country, which is around 90%. So if 9 out of 10 Canadians are vaxxed, why hasn't Justin Trudeau let up on these federal mandates? I mean, one doesn't have to be a political expert to know that getting 100% compliance is impossible in any kind of democracy.
That's exactly right. You look at what you...
So what you have, you have 90%, Canadians supposedly, they have taken, the jump shot, and they're still under harsh restrictions, man. Showing you that it's not about, even the people that's complying, it's about an agenda, man. And this whole thing against, those that are juice is nothing but propaganda, man. Okay, to cause division, and pretty much, for people to gamble with their jump shot. 90% of Canadians have complied, and they're still putting their pressure on them folks, man. Okay? It's all propaganda, even this whole Ottawa thing, which I'll show real quick. Let me show real quick, and let me get this definition of propaganda. All right, it says, this is from the brother Avalon War. 144K said propaganda said information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or point of view. And that's why you see things, in repetition. Okay? In repetition, man. Okay? Because they want to instill their point of view on you. That's why you see people that's so pro-mask and pro-juice, you know, they're nothing but an extension of Esau's propaganda. Okay? That's why they come in the same energy of these people that they see on TV that's going irate about, you know, people not complying, man. Okay? It's another definition from the brother Nathan Yawasop. It says the systematic propagation of a doctrine or cause or information reflecting the views and interests of those which are it starts with the elites. You know, it all starts with the elites, the head of this beast system. Okay, advocating such a doctrine or cause, man. You know, and they even indoctrinated the world with all type, you know, of propaganda. Now, real quick, what I want to show before I go back to that is let me see, because you remember that whole, you know, all you keep hearing is Ottawa, 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 you know, some city in Canada. But I showed this before. When you go to that flag, you know, maybe some of y'all haven't seen it, but yeah, but when you go to the flag of Ottawa, okay, what do you see? Okay, what do y'all see there? This is that flag of Ottawa. You know, would you just keep hearing them saying that? There's another thing with his media. He throws, you know, those enchantments. You keep hearing the same thing over and over, man. You see it, man. All right. And that 666. You know, a brother can put that up. Revelation 3 and 18. Like I said, which I showed it before, but actually El Apostle Hart, you know, they brought this out, you know, at camp, you know, one of these weekends. But you see, all right, the 6 with the 3 strokes, man. Let you know it's that 666. Okay. Tri-side stigma, man. Everything is all a satanic agenda of the beast, man. Okay. You just keep hearing that word. One thing about it, oh Lord, will I can start doing it and just start, you know, looking up, you know, the things that they keep repeating. If they keep repeating it, you know, they doing it for something, man. Okay. They doing it for something. Now, when you go to it's the brother GMS Great Faith Ba, Isaiah 25:7, it says, and he will destroy in the mountain the face of the covering cast over all people and the veil that is spread over all nations. And this man is being revealed, you know, like never before. Okay. And it will make sense why part of his next phase would be a cyber attack to destroy all this information from flowing so freely. You know, he's censoring it now, but he's still catching hell, you know, trying to fly under the radar, man. He's been exposed at a rapid rate, beginning with the prophets, man. You know, but this is a brother Avalon Award 144K. This is Revelation 13 and 18. It says, here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beasts. Okay. And it's for those who have understanding, who have ears to hear, you know, whom the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai is guiding, you know, through the understanding of these scriptures, man. It said, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636, man. And you can't get around it. Okay, this number is interwoven into all of this man's infrastructure, his companies, his logos, his, you know, his sign language, presidents, you know, Biden used to, Trump used to throw him so much. Okay. Every time Jake shoot a 3, what is he throwing up? Okay. Them 6s, man, them 666s, because it looked just like that sign that Jake throw, you know, when Jake shoot the 3, for the most part, what do Jake always throw up? Okay. And then the way they do their hands, they make it was, you see this, there's 1, then it's 2, 3, it's 3 6s, man. So you see Jake shoot the 3, and they'll throw it up real quick. All right, Jake know what they doing, man. You don't think these high level superstars ain't coerced to do that? And then everyone else just picks it up. Now you got Jake in junior high throwing it up. They don't know. Now the top tier know. Okay, it's the same thing. This is what the guys be throwing up. Okay, when they shoot the three, man. Here you go, man. You know, you brothers, all right? Even you few sisters probably watch sports. You see them niggas, man. You see? So let's go back to the video, let a little more of it play. Um so let's go back to it.
Would say truckers, but these are not just truckers. They are doctors, they are nurses, they are scientists, they're lawyers. There's a trades. They're all there, and they are not just unvaccinated. They are vaccinated people there as well, and that's what the media in Canada is not getting across. That these are vaccinated and unvaccinated individuals tired of the tyranny that is happening here in Canada, and they will not leave until their freedom, their rights and freedoms are restored. And it's their right to protest, but sadly, we have the city of Ottawa who's now bullying and taking away the fuel of the truckers.
Lunch menus in New York City public schools are going vegan. New York City Mayor Eric Adams announced this week that city schools will be required to serve completely vegan lunches on Fridays. The lunches are leaving little to desire as outcries are pouring in from parents and students, many taking to social media to criticize the mayor's plant-based push in the nation's largest school system. On Newsview's Hughes, Scotty Nell Hughes discusses the move with Troy Casey, who is a certified health nutritionist and author of Ripped at 50 and Mr. Health Nut, as well as Andrew Langer, president of the Institute for Liberty.
When we talk about health and food and nutrition, we must talk about quality.
Right.
Our grandparents used to call organic food food, and it is not food anymore, and our results reflect that. 70% of the American people are obese or overweight. Childhood obesity and cancer is through the roof. Let's cut the nonsense. Let's cut the crosstalk. Let's get down on what real food is, not manufactured food by the Bill Gates.
Now you see this nigga here, man. You know, and he could be an actor because what they do, they put these guys, you know, on TV, you know, to rouse up, okay, everyone that thinks like this. See, all he doing is pushing the ideology, and if you see it real quick, he's gonna throw up the sixes. Okay, let me rewind it. We just talked about that. Okay, but what they do, they put these guys like this on TV. They know all the facts and the stats. Okay, and you can tell, you know, his passion ain't sincere because we, you know, like we know how our uncle get down when he mad. Okay, because he stopped himself from cussing on here and everything. You know, when uncle get mad, all right, is the gloves is off. Okay, and you got this nigga with the beard all off the screen. You know, because Esau be exaggerating these characters, man. You know, but look at this nigga. This and yeah, what till y'all see this nigga room? This nigga had no furniture, a flag. Then this nigga sitting Indian style, man. You know, okay, this nigga set up, man. Where did they find this nigga at, man? Here it is. This is RT, the professional. You know, where the hell did they find this nigga to interview him about vegan Fridays at school, man? You know, but let me rewind. You gonna see him throw them sixes up, man.
health and food and nutrition, we must talk about quality.
Right.
Our grandparents used to call organic food food,
Mhm.
and it is not food anymore, and our results reflect that. 70% of the American people are obese or overweight. Childhood obesity.
All right, we just talked about it, man. Okay, you see the sixes right there. Now, look at this nigga room, man. A flag, a table, and if you can zoom in, don't tell them what that is. Okay, then you see a monkey under the table, and you know a lot of times those monkeys, stand for Jake, man. Okay, so there's no telling, what this is, but he's gonna speak the truth. Okay, concerned about the food because it's horrible and it's only getting worse, man. Okay, we gotta get the hell out of here, man. It's only getting worse. Okay, here it is. We're still getting slaved, but we don't even have the resources to replenish ourselves, man. That's why scriptures say, if a brother can post that real quick, I think that's Galatians. No, not Galatians, Lamentations 3. Let's get Lamentations 3 and yep. This is get Galatians 3 and 21 and 22. I mean Lamentations 3 and 21 and 22. Bible shot. Lamentations 3, 21 and 22. But yeah, we're gonna let this play. And God character.
Cancer is through the roof. Let's cut the nonsense. Let's cut the crosstalk. Let's get down on what real food is, not manufactured food by the Bill Gates and the Monsantos of the world, which clearly are poisoning the world with glyphosate, aspartame, all their sister companies, Searle, that put aspartame on the market with Donald Rumsfeld. Like, the jig is up. We're being poisoned systematically, and let's cut the nonsense.
But quality and cafeteria food, I don't know if that's a long tradition of not being in the same sentence, not just starting with this. And so, but this time you actually have a mayor, the government.
Do we put the children first, or is that propaganda?
Well,
do we put the children first? Because the children are the future, and organic food makes eyeballs. Saturated fats makes myelination for the nervous system and the brain development. And yes, children are being chemically castrated today with the xenoestrogens and too much soy, which is the Beyond Meat, which whatever the narrative is, they're trying to funnel us into some kind of vegan eugenics or some other kind of thing that I don't know what is, but it ain't healthy. Just like selling crack pipes to people, giving crack pipes to people ain't healthy, right?
Troy, I am 100% on the same page with you. My son went through a short stint of trying to be vegan, and it was very unhealthy for him. We had to convince him that it was actually hurting his health. Andrew, I want to get a quick word on you in here because Troy's definitely spoke a lot. I see you. I know you probably can agree with some of the points he's been saying. You're carnivore yourself. You love to cook and barbecue in the kitchen. But, Adam literally wrote this book called Plant-Based Approach. He said it cured his diabetes, reversed chronic illness. Now, can a plant-based lifestyle actually be good for some people, not just an overall? Andrew.
For a short amount of time.
Let me throw it to Andrew.
It's a matter of choice in the end, right? If you want to live a plant-based lifestyle and you want your kids to eat a plant-based lunch, send your kids to school with a plant-based lunch. We haven't even gotten to, Scotty, the rampant waste that happens in these schools and the amount of money that literally goes into the garbage can. We saw this happen with Michelle Obama's nutrition program, the amount of money, the amount of food that got wasted there. The problem, of course, is when kids go hungry at school, they're going to eat junk food later on. We have to give them the right foods that they're actually going to eat if we're going to go down this road and not do political experimentation.
Well, and then I want to throw this real quickly to you, Troy. I got 20 seconds. I got to tell you, is this something that actually is this something that kids can actually handle at school? Can they get enough nutrition for a day with one meal that they're given at school?
Disgraced attorney Michael Avenatti was found guilty of wire fraud and identity theft after stealing more than $250,000 from his former.
So yeah, which we all know food is trash, man. But imagine, just like Apostle, Rakai, he says all the time, GMO babies, man. And that's the facts, because you have now, it's a generation where the parents, all they ate was GMOs as they was being brought up, and they pregnant on GMOs. And now all the children know they're being born as GMOs, man. Okay, this man is breeding. Okay, man, this man is destroying humanity, man. Okay, in all type of ways. And see, that's what you call, a silent war. I don't know if there's a definition for that now. A silent war. Brothers can look it up and see. If you find something, can post it. But it's a silent war because they're not, out. They're not, outright just up front at war with you, but it's silent. It's through your food, it's through your education, it's through your medicines, okay, through the air you breathe. It's a silent war against the masses, man. And the food has been weaponized, man. But that's why, we gotta go to this scripture. When you go to Lamentation, now this the brother Bayan Yasha'Allah, Lamentation 3:21. It said, "This I recall of mine, therefore have I hope. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassion fail not." And at the end of the day, it's all the mercy of Yahweh by Shema Shai that we're even still here, man. All the devices that the devil has against us, man. Okay, here he's already, of course he's, against the masses of the people, but he's specifically against the tribes, man. Crack cocaine and all these different things, the culture that he gave our people, it's of the Lord's mercy that we even here, man. All these things working against us in this man's kingdom, man. Now we eat the best of the worst, but at the end of the day, we need deliverance, man. Okay. Now I'm gonna let a little bit more of this play, then we're gonna go to some articles. So let's go back to it. We're gonna talk about, inflation, man, which everything is going up. Everything is going up, man. Okay. With no sign of stopping in the end.
We seeing such a drastic jump in personal debt, and should we be concerned? On Boom Bust, Brent Jabor and Rachel Blevins speaks to Richard Wolff, host of Economic Update.
Professor Wolff, I mean, is it concerning that we're seeing this big jump in personal debt? Are there worries that when the economic bubble does burst, as it eventually will, this is going to become a real problem?
Absolutely. We are now seeing levels of consumer debt higher than they were in the run-up to the Great Recession of 2008 and 9. Let's remember what the name of that recession was: the subprime mortgage recession. That's what it was originally called. And why? Because people had loaded up on so much personal debt that they could not anymore pay off the debt, not the interest and the principal. And so they chose not to pay their mortgages as one of the things to save on, because they couldn't do it. And we're here now again with a population deeper and deeper in debt. It's caused a crash, one of the worst we've had in our history, and it's every indication that we're moving in that direction again.
Absolutely, and concerning is an understatement there. Now, how much of this can be attributed to the policy of easy money we've seen from the Federal Reserve, which has just pumped big bucks into the economy over the last 2 years?
I don't think very much, and let me explain. Easy money has certainly increased the debt of every corporation virtually in the country, because for the last many years, any difficulty any company had of any kind could most easily and quickly and cheaply be solved by borrowing all that money the Federal Reserve was pumping in at interest rates at or near zero. So that's what the companies did, and why they have a debt level that we've never seen before. And pretty much the same goes for the government. The problem is that's not what individuals do, because they're not in that kind of a position. What individuals do is find that they need money, debt, when they can't pay for things that they normally buy. And that's what we've had the last year. Let's be real honest. The inflation rate is listed at 7%, and whatever they tell us tomorrow. But the wages haven't gone up anywhere near that, which means the gap between what you earn and what you have to pay for has gotten worse. And of course, Americans, being what we are, we borrow to help cover that difference. It's a whole different network of reasons.
And as inflation is on the rise, it's overshadowing a big increase in wages over the past year, accounting to a nearly 2% smaller paycheck for the average worker. But while some employers have raised wages at the fastest rate seen in 15 years, other sectors are struggling for that pay bump. This week on Redacted Tonight VIP, host Lee Camp interviewed Michael Astoria, CEO of And Pizza, about why better wages for workers leads to happier and healthier business for all.
The reason I wanted to talk to you is because in articles and on social media, you make it very clear that workers should be paid more, should get benefits, should be treated better in our country. And you really go after your fellow CEOs for treating workers like crap. Why do you think those things are important, and why are your fellow CEOs so different from you?
Well, as a CEO and as a founder of And Pizza, our focus has always been on providing high quality jobs. And to me, higher wages is the clearest single way to say to your workforce, we value you. And that really is important to us because our brand is literally the symbol that's an ampersand. And that means unity. It's all about uniting the working class around fair wages. All of our work counts for nothing if our people cannot live on the wages we pay them. And I think the food service industry in particular, and why it's so important, because it's now the largest employer categorically than any other industry in America. And if we have the idea of what it means to be a good jobs employer upside down, it's going to impact the masses in a really negative way. And quite frankly, a lot of fast food CEOs, a lot of legacy businesses just think that we're still in the good old days where you can dictate and people are going to listen and obey. And the reality is the working class and the workforce no longer abides by those principles. They ultimately are voting with their feet. They have the control. And so we need a hard reset to think, what does it mean to be a good jobs employer? What should we be paying? What type of benefits should we be providing? And really thinking about the next couple of decades and setting ourselves up in a place where we don't have these massive labor shortages. People want to come work in such a cool and rad industry. And we're doing everything that we can to improve our employer brand and the industry's employer brand.
Yeah, and it seems like we're getting to a breaking point in this country, both because of the pandemic, but also just because of long-standing issues with our economy, with the way people are treated within it. And it's turning some of these myths, upside down, like the idea that low wage equals low skill. And you tweeted out a challenge to people who call fast food workers low skill. Try working in a pizza shop on a Saturday night. And I must say, I've been in an And Pizza on a Saturday night, and there's a line out the door, and the employees are working their asses off. So talk a little about that myth that we have in America, that low.
Yeah, that's pretty much it on that. Just dealing with the inflation. Because here it is, you have wages going down, with prices going up. And see, it's a slow gap, that's getting worse and worse, and what's going to happen is people that are used to having, a certain amount of money, within their, on their debit card and savings, they're going to start to see those things dwindle. to the point where they had to start cutting, first you're gonna cut off your wants, and then you're gonna start cutting off some of your needs, man. And it's just a slow fall, into poverty, man. And it's gonna increase quick because when you get to these articles, pretty much he's gonna these articles kind of explain, okay, what this devil, he's throwing things out there to showing you what could possibly happen. Now, let's get to some of these articles. Let's start off with this because, as we know, we've been keeping up, with the war movements, that's been going on, and what we see happening now is because now you see the mainstream media. Because you remember, if you brothers and sisters remember, when we first, started covering, what was happening, over there in Ukraine, the war movements in Russia. When we first started covering these things, mainstream media wasn't covering these things, man. Okay? You didn't hear this in the mainstream media. I had one video get blocked. I got a strike. This one of the videos I got a strike for was a video concerning, okay, those war movements, man. You see? Well, now you started hearing these things on, your major news channels. Now it's propaganda. Okay, now they're trying to spin the story. See, that's what you will see with Esau Edom. See, when information gets out and he can't put a cap on it, what he does, okay, is try to take hold of the narrative. That's why you even have Israelite groups who are sold out, because he couldn't stop this word from getting out and people from believing, So what does he try to do? He tries to compromise, groups, so he can try to control the narrative, man. And that's what we see him doing, with the news. Now they're using this war talk, okay, to push a whole nother agenda. All right. And you're gonna hear a lot about cyber warfare and cyber attacks, man. All right. Now, this article is it said the Biden regime to fabricate war with Russia in order to terrorize the American people. Because at the end of the day, it's gonna go from a silent war with you American citizens to a live war, man. Okay, where shots are being fired. But they're gonna use this narrative of war, all right. They got a scapegoat with Russia to pretty much terrorize America. The American government is going to terrorize America and blame it on Russia, man. You see? So let's read. All right. It says, in acts of absurd desperation, we now see the White House and deep state propaganda, rag mouthpiece publishers, Washington Post, New York Times, CNN, etc., pushing aggressively to start a war with Russia. They're working every angle to try to bait Putin into defending Russia's border against NATO provocations. And if they fail to get Putin to respond, U.S. and NATO forces will run their own false flag attack on Ukraine and immediately blame Russia. The desperation behind all this is impossible to miss. And it begs the question, why does the Biden regime so desperately want to whip up war with Russia? The answer, of course, is because creating a greater emergency, okay, an international war, will allow the Biden regime to further terrorize the people, okay, in all sorts of malicious ways. It says, and also creates a cover story for Biden's disastrous economic failures that are already plunging millions of Americans into food scarcity, jobless, and homelessness. With an outbreak of engineered war with Russia, Biden handlers could probably manage to declare a domestic state of emergency and roll out martial law across the U.S. as a wartime police state action. this in turn would allow Biden and his treasonous Democrats to, okay, suspend the midterm elections and stay in power as long as they can maintain the emergency, attempt nationwide gun confiscation from the American people. Oh, so like. And then it says attempt nationwide gun confiscation from the American people, label anybody opposed to the Biden regime as terrorists and sympathizers with Russia. It says further attack the supply chain and cause mass famine and food riots while blaming Russia for everything. All right, just as all they need is a scapegoat and someone to blame. Okay, because what did you have? They blamed the crown for everything. You know, they blamed the sickness for everything. They blamed the unjust for everything. Now they got a bigger scapegoat, which is Russia. Okay, it says achieve the desired collapse of the U.S. dollar as the final act of looting of productive American workers. So with this whole propaganda of war against Russia, because Russia is on standby, but Russia, okay, is not the one provoking the war, and Russia is not the one, okay, spinning these stories on repeat in their media. America media is constantly, saying every day, Russia could attack tomorrow. Russia could attack in 2 to 3 days. The word in, a Russian official, gives warning, in 2 days, it's their propaganda. You see? And if something goes down, okay, whether it be a false flag or whatever happens, one thing about it, Esau Edom, this American government gonna flip it to where they're gonna take away more rights, okay, and bring more oppression, man. Okay. So let's go from there. We just watching, speculating in the spirit, because things can go a lot of ways, but I'm just reading, a few things that I've been seeing, because it seemed like this man, might try to go another way, so let's get another article, because we went from Russia mounting up to now you're just hearing the same repeat story in the American media. So now that's when they finna get ready to flip it, when you keep hearing the same story over and over again, okay, within this man's media. Now you have this one. It says exclusive FBI and DHS warn U.S. officials of possible Russian cyber attacks linked to invasion of Ukraine. So you see how off this one narrative, they spinning all these possibilities, man. Off this one narrative. Okay. It says the Federal Bureau of Investigation, okay, the FBI, and the Department of Homeland Security on Monday warned law enforcement, military, and other charged with overseeing critical U.S. infrastructure to be prepared for potential Russian cyber attacks in conjunction with a possible invasion of Ukraine. During a Monday afternoon conference call, the nation's top cybersecurity officials briefed state and local government agencies and cybersecurity personnel, warning them to look out for signs of Russian activity on their networks The federal officials also urged those on the call to dramatically lower their threshold for reporting suspicious activity. It says a Russian invasion of Ukraine could begin at any time. You see that? They're telling Russia when they're going to invade. Okay? I didn't know that. It said the official said, and the military action also likely to be accompanied by cyber attacks targeting both Ukraine and U.S. networks. Officials underscored that the U.S. believes Russia's invasion of Ukraine is likely to begin with aerial bombing and missile attacks, and in conjunction with cyber operations. So they know the whole Russian game plan, how they're going to attack. You know, it's going to be coupled with, cyber. You see, they pretty much reading you their own script, what they plan on doing, man. Okay. The Lord allowed. It said the people who were on the call told Yahoo News that they were alarmed by how many people on the call appeared not to know the process for reporting suspicious cyber activity. It said this is the most basic thing. How to and who do you report suspicious activity on your network? One person said that people don't know what to do at this point. All right, it's just a real failure. Saying people ain't ready. Okay, because people in America, all right, are not concerned about things like a cyber attack, man. Okay? People are too engulfed in what? Entertainment. You see? And it says officials said that they are currently seeing an uptick in Russian scanning of U.S. law enforcement networks and urge a heightened state of vigilance. The cyber component of the Russian offensive is likely to begin just before an aerial bombing or missile attack and will be likely to continue throughout the conflict. The U.S. has been working with Ukraine to harden its infrastructure networks from likely Russian cyber attacks and will continue to do so as it braces for an all-out assault, one official said. And see, they kind of prep your mind, to blame Russia for cyber attacks with the whole gas line, so-called cyber attack that happened last year. And they blamed it, on who? Russia. Okay? So, hey, look for something major, man. Look for something big. Look for this man to turn it up a notch, to bring back that fear factor, man. Okay? Now, let's go from there. I got one more. I got one more. And if a brother could, post Psalms 52 verses 2 through, let me see, Psalms 52, verses 2 through verses 2 through 5. Psalm 52 verses 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now this is from Blacklisted News, and it pretty much goes into how this man, uses his media, his entertainment to keep people in the box, man. And how this man keep people in the mental box. It's flooding people with entertainment and status quo. Got people running on a rat wheel. on a hamster wheel, going nowhere. Okay, but exerting all this energy, man. Now, let's get it. What is it? All right. Now it says, this one Blacklisted News. Now this one read, it said they don't just lie to us about wars, they lie to us about everything. Okay. Well, brother can post that, he was a liar and a murderer from the beginning, man. As the scriptures say, it says propaganda, which we went over, what propaganda stands for. It said isn't just about manufacturing consent for wars and ridiculous government measures we never normally accept. That's what most people think of when they hear that word, but they are so very, very much more to it than that. It said the lion's share of propaganda goes not toward convincing us to accept new agendas or of the powerful, but toward keeping us entranced, okay, in the status quo dream world, which enables the powerful to have power in the first place. Yeah, so they don't spend a lot of time, pushing forward new agendas. Okay, they spend most of their time trying to keep us in that box that they already have the masses in. Okay, that's why they want to keep Jake being a street nigga or a corporate nigga or a coon nigga. Okay, because you see, vocab does not attack any of these status quo niggas that Esau has made. He doesn't go against street niggas and trap boys and the alphabet community. He doesn't go against those things. Okay, the American dream and he doesn't go against those things. It's when we step outside of that, then it's a problem. Us calling ourselves Israelites, living according to a standard, they're mad at us for trying to keep the God's law to the best of our ability, okay? Because it goes outside the status quo, okay? Now let's get some of these precepts and we're going to read some more of the article. Now, this is the brother Gashan Ba, okay, 72. Gashan 72 Ba. This is Psalms 52:2. It said, thy tongue devises mischief like a sharp razor working deceitfully. Okay? And a razor is what? Something is deadly. A sharp razor, okay, can put you to death. And this man's propaganda puts people to death, man. It works mischief. It causes wars. It causes famine in lands. Okay? It causes people to be impoverished through this man's tongue and lying. Okay? This man can lie on his media and then go bomb the shit out of a country, man, based on the lie. Millions upon millions of civilians have died based on this man lying on his media, man. Weapons of mass destruction. The whole 9/11 thing. Man lied and people died, man. This man's tongue is like a sharp razor. Okay, when this nigga lie, okay, bodies drop, man. Okay, verse 3, it says, thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness, man. This is how this man is built. Okay, Jake, you trying to march for this man to change, it's not in him. You be marching for this man to do right by you, it's not in him. Okay, and Jake act like they be so surprised when they get done wrong in this system. What do you expect? When has he ever showed you anything different? You got this thing now with Sha'Carri Richardson, where you have this Edomite who got found positive. Because with Sha'Carri Richardson, she got found positive for marijuana, and they didn't allow her to run in the Olympics. And then you had this Edomite got found positive with marijuana, and I think she's a skater. She's in something in the Winter Olympics. I don't know exactly what she do, but they're letting her compete. And then they bring the story out like her story shows how vulnerable young people are. Now they give Esau a sympathy story, and they're letting the Edomite compete. Okay, and then you got the nigga woman Shakara Richardson, going on the uproar on Twitter, and what's different with her situation in mine. Well, I tell you the difference. She's an Edomite. Yes, Jake. Okay, it's a difference. They're Edomite. That's the difference in the situation. Y'all did the same thing, but you two different races of people. This is the kingdom of the Edomites. Okay, the situation different. You see, and Esau keeps showing you niggas that he's gonna be the same no matter what. But Jake is still stuck in his fantasy and thinking that this man is somehow one day gonna feel sorry and do right, man. Okay. Now this is verse 4. GMS Great Faith Bach. All right, Psalms 52 4. It says, "Thou lovest all devout words, O thou deceitful tongue." And this man words has devoured nations, has devoured whole peoples, man. Because even though rappers, they're pretty much the mouthpiece of Esau Edom. These niggas are rapping based on the genre that this man wants them to rap about. That's why drill music is exalted. Trap music is exalted. Okay? You let Jake come out, with just some good music, some good vibe, chill, talking about enjoying the earth. Okay? That nigga will get no play. He'll probably have a few fans on YouTube, but he wouldn't be all in the tabloids and, performing it, the halftime. No. Okay? These niggas that we see performing, they're nothing but enchantments of Esau Edom. Okay? They're this nigga mouthpiece, man, and this nigga created a culture that devours itself, through these niggas, man. Okay? But see, he threw a judgment for this man. Okay, the scriptures always go into this man's charges, and then it goes into his sentence, man. Verse 5, Psalm 52 and 5, it says, "The Most High shall likewise destroy thee forever. All right, he shall take thee away and pluck thee out of thy dwelling place and root thee out in the land of the living," man. This man finna be removed, man. And we should be hasting that day. Let's see, if a brother can put a brother can put St. John 14 and 30. St. John 8 and 32, St. John 8 and 36. You'll get it. Let me finish reading. See if I can blow this up a little bit. All right, now going back into the article. Salakia too, I'm gonna look, congested. It said the lion's share of propaganda goes not toward convincing us to accept new agendas of the powerful, but toward keeping us entranced in the status quo dream world, which enables the powerful to have power in the first place. All right, toward normalizing status quo system and training us to shape ourselves to fit into them like neat little cogs in a well-oiled machine. And if it's not even a grand monolithic conspiracy in most cases. The giant corporations who indoctrinate us with their advertisements, their Hollywood movies and shows, their apps, their websites, and their news media are all naturally incentivized to point us further and further into delusion by the fact that they benefit from the status quo system, which have elevated them to wealth. You see? And you got to understand, like, they'll even throw you, so-called leader that make a few points, like Farrakhan. But what is Farrakhan's end game? And see, that's how you can tell, okay, a good way to tell if someone is juiced in, okay, look at their end game. What does their end game consist of, man? Okay, you look at Farrakhan, you look at Dr. Umar Johnson, you look at Charleston White, okay? You look at Polite, Sarnella, okay? Kevin Samuels. Yeah, these men make points, okay? But what is their end game? Their end game all goes back to pointing you back into this system, okay? Somehow, some way, it ties you back into this system, man. Just like you got ISUPK, okay? You got these guys, man. What are they doing? They're with the Black Panthers. Okay? These men are with the Black Panthers, man. Hold on, let me pull it back up. Which we know they've been, sold out in COINTELPRO, man. You see? But see, everyone benefits off the sheeple being sleep. Okay? Now, keep going. It says, and it's not even now jump down. This it says, so day in and day out, we are presented with media which train us what to value, where to place our interest and attention, what success look like, and how a normal human behaves on this planet. And why do you think most nigga women act like, Love and Hip Hop reality show? They act like the women they've seen on TV. Okay, the Kardashians, the Cardi B's, Megans. Okay, why do they act like that? Because Esau was saying this is how you should be if you want to live successful. Because he put those people in these cars and these houses and these trips. And then you got these social media timelines. It's like those people are in heaven. They always on vacation somewhere, drinking this and eating this and buying this, and money here and money there. They got this empowering message for y'all. Don't let nobody hold you down from your dream. Okay, if a nigga can't get with it, nigga get lost, and all these little memes and shit. Okay, they're teaching you human behavior. Okay, and that's why you see, real life is starting to imitate. Okay, what's on the TV and the media, man. Okay, that's why you don't have to. That's why YouTube is social media is the most viewed things, because people are more just interested. You can just press play because everybody is a goddamn character, man. Everybody is playing out some type of character, man. And it says, keep reading, and it says, and it always aligns perfectly with the interests of the rich and powerful. They don't just teach us what to believe, they teach us who we are. Okay? And that's why you can't pry our people from calling themselves African American, colored, black. Okay? There's a framework. The brother can put that Deuteronomy 28, the byword. Okay? And it says, and another brother also put Isaiah 1 and 3, through 5. We'll read those at the end. And it said they don't just teach us what to believe, they teach us who we are. They give us the framework upon which we cast our ambitions and evaluate our success. And that's why you got depression at an all-time high. because people are looking at other people's lives or so-called lives on social media all day, and they're looking at how their life don't compare, and people are depressed as hell, man. You know, that's why under Yahweh Shai, man, we don't care about that shit, man. Okay, we content with our daily bread, you know, roof, you know, our little necessities, you know, he give us a few wants, he gives, you know, he throws a few bones here and there, but other than that, man, we don't care, you know. We should be developing that mind and not caring about that, not comparing our life to the people of this world and what we looking at what they got and pouting about what we don't got, man. You know, but this society teaches you that, man. And it says, and we build psychological identities out of these constructs. I am a businessman. I am unemployed. My life is about making money. My life is about disappointing people. I am a success. I am a failure. They invent the test of our adequacy, and they invest the system to be which we are graded on that test. It says these artificial constructs take up such a vast portions of our personal psychology that people will live their entire lives completely enslaved to them, making them their entire focus. This enslavement is so persuasive that people will often even take their own lives based on what those made up constructs tell them about who they are and their worth, man. You know, it's a pretty good article, but you know, this whole system is based on a lie, okay, that this man is telling, and that's why pretty much this whole so-called reality is like is already like a virtual reality, man. You know, so let's put that article in here in case y'all want to read it, you know. But let's get these precepts. This is the book of this is Geshan 72 Ba. Is the book of St. John 14:30. It says, hereafter I will not talk much with you, for the prince of this world cometh. Speaking of the Edomites, because the Romans was ruling, okay, during the time of Yahushua, and have nothing in me. See, this society has nothing to do with Yahushua. All right, this is a vain society, okay, based on vain success, vain accomplishments, you know, vain glory, okay. It's not based in reality, man. You know, that's why people love social media. People spend more time looking at their phone than actually interacting, you know, and things around them. Because people have fell in love, you know, with this man false reality, man. Okay, let's get this one. This is another from Brother Geshan 72 Ba, Deuteronomy 28:37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. And that's why people call themselves after all these, you know, made up names, because everyone has a biblical nationality, but this man has cloaked everyone, okay, with some type of byword or proverb, or you know, a social construct that he has made up, man. Okay, and once he set up all these lies, now his media, his TV, his entertainment, his music is based on, and his religion is based on what, you know, fortifying those lies, man. But see, those lies are being broken down. Okay, you have women that base their womanhood based on what they've seen on social media and TV and music, because they grew up in the house where their mother did the same thing. Okay, men. Okay, young men, because I know music played a heavy influence in a lot of my decision making in my youth, man. Okay, things I wish I could have did way better, man. Okay, but I know it all led me to this point, to have that experience in these things, so I could know that people develop their right and wrong and what success is and what's not based on what, man, this man social construct of his media propaganda, what he says is success, what he says is failure, what he deems important, what he deems unimportant, but it's being broken down, and through that you have a generation of Israelites that believe that think like this. Okay, it said this is our Lamb of War 144K. The ox knoweth his owner, okay, and the ass is master crib. But Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider. Jake don't even consider who they are anymore, okay? Because TV has told them they were street niggas, okay? Or focus on being an American entrepreneur, be like the next Donald Trump and Bill Gates, I'm American. I'm Egyptian. You see, I'm more. I'm this. I'm that. Everything except an Israelite. Okay. And what kind of culture has it led our people into? A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel into anger. They are gone away backward. Okay, and because each generation is getting worse and worse, but there's a remnant that the Lord pulled from that, and we're constantly growing in righteousness, man. While our people are getting worse and worse in iniquity, and that's why judgment and salvation has to come at the same time to deliver those that are being bred into righteousness, and those that are backsliding further and further into wickedness, man. Okay, let's see, verse 5. It says, why should you be stricken anymore? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart faint. So, there's no solution for our people, that are gone within this system, man. The Most High just going to do away with them. Okay? There's no healing medicine for them, as the scriptures say. If a brother can post that in St. John 8 and 32, yeah, and we'll end it off that. Let me see. That should be it. So yeah, expect this man to do something impulsive. Time will tell, because like I say, we can see with that narrative of the of the whole pandemic, and the death everywhere, people lining up. You still gonna have your simpletons, because scriptures say that the simple believe every word. So you're gonna have a lot of simpletons, but the most people that you see, all right, that's in that full compliant spirit is the nigga woman and old people, man. Everybody else back to doing their thing, man. Okay. So let me find this. I'll get it real quick. I started at 12. This is the book of St. John, chapter 8, verse 12. It says, then spake Yahushua unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. And that's the position that we're in. We're not in darkness, man. Okay? Because there's people that are only concerned about things that don't matter. Their whole day consists of things that don't matter. Okay? Yeah, Esau, being petty, it is all good, brother. It's all good. But yeah, he watching, man. But at the end of the day, the information that went out to who it need to go out to. Like I said, they might end up scribing for this one, but it's all good, all the information went out. Okay, that's why I try to move around on here. So when I do have, acquire some information need to come out, I just go on here, go all the way in, and let the chips fall where they may. Going back into it, St. John 8:12, then spake Yahushua to them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life, man. And we see past all this, man. We're not entangled. You see? They see past all this propaganda, all these false narratives, and all these things that he's going to bring about the past. Okay? So like I say, he's hyping up that cyber attack. So we're gonna see, And I'm telling what might go on over there, Ukraine, however it go. We know, we know that Esau is going to capitalize for his agenda further. All right. Every crisis that we see from here on out, all right, he's going to use that to directly for his agenda one step closer, man, to what he wants. Okay. Now, this is St. John 8:32, and it says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So we're free, from being, because it was a time where TV and music and media and all what we seen in the neighborhood, all those things was conforming us, man, and making us anti-Messiah. But see, through Yahushua, we've been unleashed from that, and now we're being formed in righteousness, man. And there's no enchantment against Jacob. It's talking about the elect. You see, them same enchantments that used to just mold us and have us in awe, okay? Now they have lost power, okay? Now we can't play around with those things too much, okay? Because if we start showing particular things too much attention, the Most High allow us to get drugged into that, man. So we have to be mindful. It's a battle, it's a fight, all right, to stay within the spirit, but it's very doable for those who are in Yahushua. You see? And these people are finna be tossed to and fro with all these different narratives, man. And they're gonna have no hedge when this thing goes down. Okay? So I just want to bring that out. Lord will, you brothers, you future sisters are edified. The next time I say Shalom, Kwam Yashala, Abba Ball, DTA soon. Shalom.